Hello everyone, my name is Brian Reyes and welcome to another Daily Devotional. Now today we're going to be reading page November 23rd and the title of the day is called Still Small Voice. The verse of the day is in 1 Kings chapter 19 verses 11 through 13. The Lord said, "Go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by." Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he pulled his cloak over his face and went out and stood at the mouth of the cave. Then a voice said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Air traffic controllers are folks who keep all the airplanes flying over our heads from crashing into each other and help them land safely, one at a time, in various airports all across the United States. They have an extremely important job that's very stressful and challenging. Around the world, it's considered one of the most difficult jobs there is. If you held the fate of hundreds of people in your hands and relied on communication equipment that could blink out at any time, wouldn't you be a little stressed out? Yeah, me too. If you'd like to get a taste of what air traffic control is all about, you can listen in on radio conversations between air traffic controllers and pilots at your favorite airport. Just check out www.liveatc.net. Imagine you're a pilot flying a plane full of people, and suddenly you decide you're sick of listening to the air traffic controller. You'd rather listen to your favorite tunes, so you switch them off and plug in your iPod instead. How would you feel if the plane you were piloting crashed and burned because you chose to stop listening to the person who was keeping you safe? Yes, that's what people do every time they take drugs or drink alcohol. I worked with a man once who speaks to hundreds of kids every year to warn them about the effects of drugs and alcohol. He's passionate about his work because he knows what it's like. He used to use drugs and alcohol himself. "Do you know what's the worst thing is?" he asked me once. "When you're under the influence of drugs and alcohol, it dulls your mind. You can't hear God's still small voice anymore." Make sure you can hear God's still small voice when he asks you, "What are you doing here?" whatever your name is. Then follow his directions to get safely back home. So God is like an air traffic controller. He watches over us and tries to do the best he can to get us away from trouble. But if you're the pilot who decided to stop listening to the air traffic controller and decided to put on your favorite tune, what would happen next? Probably a crash would happen, right? We represent the pilot and God represents the air traffic control. We need to listen to God every single time, not just for bad stuff like drugs, but for everything. So remember to listen to God and keep the trip a smooth flight. This has been another Daily Devotional. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.